that. Wherever he is, he didn't like that.
Double swig.
Mm.
Right. Welcome back to part 2 of episode 2 of season 3 of the Whiteboard Game podcast. If you watched the first part, you would know that we have been discussing song outros.
We have.
We've been enjoying doing so. We're going to continue doing so now. So, without further ado...
Without further to say, let's get on with it. The outro is so important. The intro 100%. Is a first impression. The outro is the lasting taste in the mouth, So important. So we've collected some outros we think are pretty good. We're halfway through. We are going to talk about, I think, my 6th one. Yeah?
Definitely, yeah. Yes. I mean, it's like what people say, you start well and you end well. That's all you need,
Yeah.
That's all you need. That's what people remember the most.
True. I think so, anyway.
So on to your number 6, this would be?
Yeah.
Now, I think I do remember this one.
Yep.
I recognise the voice immediately as Peter Gabriel.
Very good.
But I did think it sounds more like his Genesis stuff.
Okay.
I do believe. And then towards the end of the extract, he started saying some words which we have had a conversation in late about, I believe, this song. Because at the end of this song, he asks the listener many times to touch him and why they don't touch him as well. Now, specifically, and he gets quite adamant about it.
He gets really adamant, yeah.
And, it makes me sort of think, gosh, mate, should I have been, wanting to touch you? I don't know. I don't know how I feel anymore. I got very mixed signals. Well, the signals aren't mixed, but my feelings are mixed.
Yeah, I think the signals are actually quite one track. I think they're quite obvious.
100%. It is Genesis, I do believe. I think the song is Counting Out Time.
Okay.
I think I've remembered that correctly. Because I remember us enjoying a jolly conversation about it and some of the lyrics like, I've got unexpected distress from my mistress.
What a lyric, man.
Prog Rock, Genesis, 1973. I felt like that was around the time of Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. I want to say that's the album this is off of. I can't remember totally, but
Counting Out Time is absolutely off of Lamb Lies Down.
Cool.
You've got 3 points.
Thank you.
Counting Out... Sorry, did you say what genre you put?
Prog Rock, yeah.
There you go. Counting Out Time is off Lamb Lies Down. You've got other great lyrics on that, such as Erogenous Zones, I Question You, Without You, What Would a Poor Boy Do? In a not dissimilar style, Peter Gabriel does start saying some crazy stuff at the end of this. This is Genesis. It's called The Musical Box.
Oh.
This is from 1971's Nursery Crime. And it's prog rock. Of course it is. It's early Genesis. What do I say without going off on one here? Because there is so much I could say about this song. This is one of Genesis's first masterpieces, The Musical Box, I think. 10-minute song. Not 1 second is wasted. It's just captivating the whole way through. We did talk about this recently because I think I just randomly started saying, "Why don't you touch me?" when I was at your house and you're going, "Fred, what's wrong with you?" I went, "No, it's an actual song, I promise you." And then I played it.
My mum was in the room at the same time. I don't really know why you kept saying it, to be honest.
Well, no, because she turned, I don't know if you remember this, she turned around and just went, "Oh, is that Genesis's The Musical Box from their 1971 album Nursery Crime?"
He prefers late Genesis.
she's much more of a Duke person, that's fair. I'm on Wikipedia here. I'm going to give you, because this is prime, insane Peter Gabriel writing here. I'm going to give you the story that this song tells across a 10-minute runtime, okay? And when you look at the album art for Nursery Crime, it gives you a few hints as well. So, this is according to Wikipedia, okay? So, the lyrics are based on a Victorian-style fairy tale written by Gabriel about 2 children in a country house. The girl, Cynthia, kills the boy, Henry, by cleaving his head off with a croquet mallet. She later discovers Henry's musical box. When she opens it, Old King Cole, which is sort of an old nursery rhyme or whatever it is, plays, which he does sing earlier in the song. Of course, it's prog rock. There are so many different sections. So this is the very last one that you heard. So when she opens it, Old King Cole plays, and Henry returns as a spirit, but starts aging very quickly. This causes him to experience a lifetime sexual desire in a few moments. And he tries to persuade Cynthia to have sexual intercourse with him. However, the noise that this is causing causes his nurse, the family nurse, to arrive, and she throws the musical box at him, destroying both of them. The album cover shows Cynthia holding the croquet mallet with heads lying on the ground. So that's the story he tells.
Feels very paganist almost.
It's weird. It's Gabriel at his strangest. But, I mean, what a story. Like, he just sat down and just went, yeah.
He made that himself. That's not even like an old
No. He wrote that himself.
Wow.
And he just went, yeah. And you know what? It would be enough just to write like a short book on that, like, or something. No, I want this to be a song. And I love the fact that all of his band members, he brought this to them, they all just went, yeah, we trust you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we can make this a 10-minute banger. And they did. They did. It's fantastic. The song is genuinely incredible. As I said, it's one of their first masterpieces. And so here you get, and all this time that passed me by. And so, you know, then he starts begging. You stand there with your fixed expression, casting doubt on all the words I have to say, where he says, why don't you touch me? He's begging. And of course, in the live performances, Gabriel would switch over to a big grotesque head to show that he'd become older. Because it was all about performance for Gabriel at this point. It's interesting when you compare the two Genesis periods, because Gabriel's is so artsy. It's so artsy. And then Collins' it's really well-crafted pop, basically. What I will say about Phil Collins is, because, you know, you think about Phil Collins, you think about pop singer-songwriter kind of thing. He hasn't really got to that stage. He's still very much a band member at this point in Genesis.
Yeah.
The drum work on this and the album Foxtrot, I think normal people might forget that he's also an incredibly competent percussionist. The drum work on Nursery Crime and Foxtrot, the whole of this song throughout, unbelievable. Because he's not on the first. Trespass is their first like successful album. I don't think he's on there. I'm not sure. But then he comes in, and suddenly, like, no disrespect to whoever the drummer was before, but he comes in and you go, oh my God, this is like a generational talent kind of thing. And yeah, this was when they were doing their weird prog rock period, but it's at the peak of its powers. And it's, as you say, foreshadowing stuff like Lamb that's going to come on, which is... that is generational music as well. But a very weird song. I wanted to include it because I thought you'd find it amusing, because we only had that conversation not too long ago. And I thought you'd also find it entertaining to go, oh, this is probably a Genesis extractor. Oh no, he's saying the thing at the end. He started to shout, why don't you touch me? I do remember this. And he actually keeps saying it. He doesn't stop. It's sort of... if you had a friend who was showing that level of desperation, I think you'd put a hand on their shoulder and go, let her go, man. Let her go. I think you're about to catch a charge if you keep going here, to be honest. Fantastic song. Gabriel at his strangest. If you like something that's a bit artsy and a bit out there, early Genesis, cannot recommend it enough. 3 points to you, Chris.
Thank you. Yeah, I must have misremembered that conversation, because I think I left that conversation thinking that song was Counting Out Time. So thank you for correcting me. I'm sure that would have got me in a lot of trouble had I spoken to any Genesis fan.
How many Genesis fans do you know?
My mum, but I don't think I would have conversated with her about that.
Is she actually Genesis? Oh, because she likes Phil Collins.
Late Genesis.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's fine.
No, I don't think I know anyone who likes early Genesis.
You know, you definitely know 2 people.
Well, they haven't told. Well, yeah, you and your dad, I suppose. No one else who hasn't told me, who's kept it a secret this far.
They're ashamed of lyrics like this, you see. So, so your number 6, Chris. This is one where I was listening to it and I said this could be like 5 different options. It was sort of a bit glitchy. It was a bit... and because it was instrumental and a bit weird, I did have a moment of going, is this... and it would be an evil choice, I think, if you had gone for... Godspeed You Black Emperor, because he hasn't said anything. That's really alarming.
I'm letting you say your piece.
That's really alarming, because I say it's an evil choice because they're like 20-minute just instrumental compositions, which is completely valid. But evil nonetheless. I've gone for Tim Hecker because I know he's one of your flavours of the time.
I've been dabbling.
I thought maybe it sounded like a snowstorm, like you're in a cottage and all the electrics aren't working. Sounds like there's snow outside. You're a bit scared of it. Said it was called Blizzard. 2015, I said dark ambient / glitch.
Cool. Yeah. I'll give you a point.
I'll take it.
I'll give you a point for dark ambient.
Look, I predicted this half would not be strong from me, so we'll see.
I think regardless, this would have been a very hard thing to guess. Not because it's not something you wouldn't have known, but because it's not something you would associate with this artist. So I think I've been quite...
I've been evil.
I think to pick Godspeed would have been evil. I haven't picked Godspeed, but I think, I can acknowledge the evil undertones of what I've picked here as well.
Okay.
There's an ever so subtle hint, which you definitely wouldn't have picked. The piano notes are notes within the riff in the next song in the album.
And I know that song.
I've used that song as an extract before, but I'm not expecting you to remember it at all.
Okay, so I don't know the song well. Okay.
I don't think so. This is Wilco.
Wow.
A song that's called Ashes of American Flags. Rate Your Music said indie rock, but they're not thinking about this section,
No.
I put Broken Transmission just because
of
what I understand this section meant to be representing, basically. But dark ambient and glitch, I think, is a fair assessment as well. I was quite happy to give you a range of different things.
Thank you.
2002... because I think there's like a range of years that they wanted to release it on an album and the label were like, no, we're not putting this out. And then they were able to get out of their label and then release it on a different label. And but early 2002. So, this is sort of in the middle of the track listing for Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. I was thinking of using Poor Places because the outro of that I think is quite brilliant. It's quite eerie because they use it's like a robot voice that says Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. But cool. I also thought if I use that, Fred's going to know Wilco.
I'll add up those numbers.
I'll make it a bit harder for him.
That you did.
But the outro of this track, I think, does a very similar thing in that there's a large conceptual focus on the radio within this album.
Yeah.
Especially in its weirder moments. And Jeff Tweedy likes to have his weirder moments on this album amidst his very nice and catchy songwriting. And this is one of them. It feels like, radio frequencies clashing, there's a lot of noise. And then within that, it's almost like, the piano of the next song. It's like the frequencies of the next song coming in.
That's quite
and they're just creeping in.
That's a really cool effect.
And then everything cuts out and you get the next song. I do like how he's experimented with it on here. I think it's interesting and doesn't feel novel necessarily. Like it adds to the eeriness of this. I find generally the album to be quite eerie because of it.
Yeah, that's
and I quite like that atmosphere of it. Feels like the album's keeping a secret from you the whole time.
That's such a lovely way to put it. That's a lovely turn of phrase, yeah.
It is an interesting album. I do like it a lot. But again, I'm doing myself a disservice just not getting more into Wilco. I haven't listened to any of their albums still, so need to do that. Need to be doing that. I can't be saying I love these artists when I've only heard one of their albums. That's not what loving an artist is. Well, at least to me, if I were to compare them to like the Beach Boys or Pavement, I'd be like, I love them because I've listened to so many of their albums. Is when you compare things to yourself. But anyways, I'm going to stop rambling. 1 point.
Thank you. Stuff. I think the idea of art hiding a secret from you is fascinating. It's a really cool concept. Of feeling like there's something it's just not telling you. It's the whole thing of the words not said are more powerful than the words that are said kind of thing. I will write this down. There's got to be some stuff here, whether it's poetry or script or music or whatever. There's got to be stuff.
There's a song there to be made. Yeah. Look out for a future Idio Twin release.
That is very mysterious. Look out for it.
Yeah. Your number 7.
Yes.
This was another one I thought was really nice.
Thank
really
you.
Cool.
I mean, I didn't write it, but thank you.
Very interesting soundscape. Couldn't gauge the musician. I enjoyed the use of the chord 5 with a sharp 5.
Yeah.
Very nice chord. Nice augmented 5 chord. And I sort of thought, who would use that? Who would use an augmented 5 chord?
So you put yourself.
I thought this was a Brian Wilson song. No, I think I put someone who I know very little about is basically the way I've
That's fair.
decided this answer. Someone who, based on the textures I've heard of, the very little of what I've heard of them, I thought this would logically make sense. I've guessed Mid-Air Thief. I remember you've listened to a song or two of theirs.
A couple of albums.
I titled the track In Blue Hawaii. That was more just so a nice subtle reference to Smile.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Psych Pop. I put Neo Psych as well just because I put Psych Pop and went, I feel like I need to put something else here. So I put Neo Psych, even though I find it a bit washy, and it's a bit like indie rock where it's so diverse that anything can be Neo Psych.
Yeah, I hear you.
2017.
I'm going to give you half a point to balance out the half.
Thank you.
I will apologise, and I've only just gone on about evil choices. This is my most unfair one.
Okay.
Sorry. Because there aren't even any lyrics in it to help you. But it's something I found through the random YouTube recommendation stuff. And it's been on my mind for a long time, this song in particular. I was like, I need to use this at some point because it's just cool. This was during my sort of How Cali spree. And as a result, I was being recommended a lot of Eastern Asian...
Shibuya Kai,
that's exactly it, yeah. This is a band called Eureka with an exclamation mark, which I think is fun. The song's called English Rose. It's released on a 1999 EP. I put Indie-tronica, Shibuya Kai, downtempo, ambient pop. Interesting that it's on an EP release because this is a 10-minute track, which I think for an EP is such a bold statement. It's got another couple of tracks before it, and then you've got, by the way, 10 if not 11-minute track just to wrap it up. It's 4 minutes of it being a normal song, and then this is what you hear. That's sort of like a classical guitar riff with the sharp 5, and then sort of the glitch stuff going on, the sound of waves and stuff. That goes on for about 6 or 7 minutes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, genuinely. I think it's I think it's amazing because, as you say, it's really soothing. It's really interesting texturally. And they just go, this is an EP release. And this is sort of meant to be our introduction kind of thing. I think it's our first ever EP.
Wow.
And so it's just them going, and I really respect that. It's kind of going, this is us. We know this is a bit less mainstream, but don't care.
Yeah, we're being ambitious.
Yeah, and I really respect that. I don't have much to say. It's one of these... we're just talking about secrets. This feels like one of the most elusive things I've ever discovered. Okay. I've never heard Eureka mentioned. I've never heard of I think it's just shy of an 11-minute song on an EP before. It feels like the more... Tell you what it is. You know why I think I like it so much? I think I've only just added up these numbers. There's something fruitagary about it. With the sound of the waves and everything.
Maybe, yeah.
There's something futuristic about it. And it's so... And ambient as well, and I love that as well. The reason why I was so impressed with your Mid-Air Thief guess is because you're close nationality-wise, you know? And so it's interesting. There's an interesting conversation there of, can you tell... Are there cultural tropes between art forms? It's an interesting discussion.
It's got to be. I feel like we've had moments recently where I'm sort of going, this feels Eastern, to use a more politically correct term, I suppose. And I've had that feeling as well, if you're just like, is it me? Is it just a guess, or is there something there that you can feel?
Absolutely. I mean, I think, this is a completely non-controversial... Well, that's not true. I think every conversation about cultural differences is controversial in some way. But I think it's a more common conversation with classical music, because you talk about nationalist tendencies and things, and when music was used more commonly for propaganda purposes. But, when I talk about ambient music, for example, you can almost tell when it's a Japanese composer. There's just something about it. I mean, my catalogue of Japanese ambient music is overflowing because I think it's all so gorgeous. But maybe they just get how to make peaceful music. I don't know. Maybe there's just a way that we haven't quite clocked onto yet. But I'll give you your half point to balance it out with an apology as well. But you gave me an opportunity to talk about something I've been waiting on, so thank you.
Thank you. I did a similar thing with genre-wise this time by saying Shibuya Kai and not putting it. But,
no, see, now it's in your head. You're making it exist where it doesn't exist. Your number 7, again, I did not know who this was. I actually, because we've had our break in between recording these halves. So I'm just going to give myself a quick 5-second blast of your 7th one. Yeah, this was one of, I think I said this was one of the ones which is just so much going on, and I think I described it as sort of like alternate Sufjan Stevens almost. Sufjan Stevens, but not quite, you know. And I have listened to the album that I would have put this on if it was a Sufjan Stevens song in Age of Odds, I think is how he wants it pronounced.
Oh, okay.
This is the age of odds, somewhere in the middle, almost like a U, Age of Odds, I'm not sure. And it's definitely not on there, so it's not him. I put in a Chris Filler answer when I can't figure out who it is. I said Yola Tango.
Nice.
And I think The Wrong Way might have been said at one point. I think a lot of those could have been titles. It was all quite emotive. I said 2021, I said Hypnagogic Pop / Indie-tronica. Be honest.
I'm going to be very generous and give you a half point for the genre.
Okay.
Maybe that'll balance out your half point earlier as well.
It will, but you got to be, as long as you think that is in the spirit of the game. If it's a donut, give it a donut.
I'm not eager to be cruel.
Okay.
This is now. I'm going to tell you who this is, and I think you're going to be very surprised.
Okay, cool.
Because it's someone who we haven't talked about, but it's someone you've definitely heard of.
Okay.
And maybe someone who you might have been thinking, I'll be intrigued to see what they sound like.
Is it someone that you've ever spoken to me about before?
Not maybe in very brief passing, but not like deeply.
Can I risk what you do sometimes?
Yeah.
Because there was another name I was going to put, and I don't think it is them, but it's just I know nothing about them other than they are an incredibly diverse musician.
Okay.
And I think you have listened to it. Dean Blunt.
Not Dean Blunt.
Is that a respectable answer?
No.
Okay. I thought they were quite diverse. They're not diverse.
He is diverse, but his stuff is a lot more indie.
Okay, no worries.
Than this, because this is quite artsy.
Sure.
I would say. It is Quadeca.
Crazy! This is Quadeca.
Yeah.
So all the hype was correct because this was great.
Yeah,
so,
it's mental. Yeah, it's very impressive.
Wow.
There's a song of his called Monday. It is off of his album that came out last year called Vanisher Horizon Scraper. There is meaning to that when you listen to the album. I can't remember what it is. I've only listened to it once. It's quite a long and expansive album. Bit of an experience. Baroque pop was what Rate Your Music said. But I also sort of thought it's quite diverse genre-wise as well. It's quite artsy, as I say. So I was willing to give you a point for Indie-tronica.
That's quite kind, yeah.
2025, as I say, came out last year. I've only listened to this album. He doesn't really have many albums. He's got maybe 2 or 3.
I mean, the last 2, I think, are the ones that have really surprised people.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And it wasn't at all what I was expecting. It was much more symphonic in terms of texture, mainly. Very expansive and quite emotive sound, I suppose, in a lot of ways. That sort of combined sort of standard songwriting with symphonic sort of composition texturally. As I say, incredibly impressive. And I think what really stood out to me was me just sort of thinking, I knew who this guy was when I was like 16.
I remember him doing a KSI diss track, man. Yeah. This is insane.
This guy was making like FIFA pack openings when he was like 17.
Yeah.
And the artistic growth is
insane.
I can't use any other word other than very inspirational. If you see someone go through this sort of thing and they're making something incredibly artistic and incredibly just respectable. I think he did all the production on it as well, and like the mixing and stuff. And I'm like, are you joking?
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, man. Save some talent. Like, what's going on? I think he does do a bit of rapping on this album as well. It did sort of catch me off guard a bit. I sort of thought, I didn't know if he still did that sort of thing. He does a bit. It's not to my tastes, per se. And I also sort of think that as a songwriter, I find he can be more inconsistent. Maybe would be the right word. He doesn't he doesn't feel as seasoned a songwriter. It feels like he's still got a few more years in him of sort of building up and making consistent stuff. But I do think Monday is genuinely a very well written song. Yeah, lyrically, it's very nice. It's got a very wintry feel. And you mentioned as well in this outro section, I mean, something I love about it is the microtonal pianos and stuff.
It's microtonal,
it's all subtly detuned, and that you can tell it's a conscious choice to do that as well. It adds a certain edge to it, a certain beauty, a baroqueness, perhaps. Maybe that's where
it comes from. Put it in that Pythagorean tuning,
It's a very nice song. I'd implore you to listen to the whole of this track, and then maybe if you enjoy it beyond the whole of the album. I would say a lot of the album is not like this track. This is quite unique amongst the rest of the album, but this is the most like single-like song. I'd probably say it's a very single sort of track. But yeah, very nice. I find for how dense he makes the textures, it all feels quite cohesive still. It feels like it's not getting muddy and I'm very impressed. And I'm going to try and get to some of his other albums. This album as a whole, it didn't hit me so much initially, but I was I respected the art of it a lot. Yeah, and so I'd be intrigued to see what his other ones sound like.
It's interesting. You, as I said, I listened back to some of the last episode recently of this podcast, and the one that we've uploaded. And in that, you talk about there is a split between enjoying music for sort of just personal taste or nostalgia or whatever, but then also really respecting the artistry of it. There are two different ways of enjoying it, and the best albums are both, you know, at least the ones that affect you the most are a bit of both. But you can absolutely have more than one than the other kind of thing. I mean, the artistry, it's still a huge compliment to go, this might not get this, but
absolutely,
the actual achievement of this thing is remarkable.
Absolutely. And to say you're inspired by it as well, I think is a very steep compliment. I'd like to think, I hope that doesn't sound arrogant.
No, not at all.
But not yeah, all. I think saying you're inspired by something, I think for absolutely anyone is a steep compliment. Okay. On to your number 8.
Yeah.
I recognise this one, I think. Perhaps. I think I've heard this before. I recognised it to be one of your favourite musicians ever, Hiroshi Yoshimura. Now, I recognised it because I think it's off of what I'd probably say is maybe my favourite of his. I haven't listened to much. I think I've listened to this and Wetland. You know, I've not gone much deeper than that. The main issue I had was deciding which track it was, because there's a lot of I can definitely discern that it is a 5-letter word because all the tracks on the album have 5-letter words.
And they all have the same sound in them as well.
Yes. They do. I guess it was Creek.
Cool.
Ambient, chewing genre, really. And I think it came out in 1985. So I've put that. I've just listened to it back, but I couldn't tell if it was the sound effects version. I think maybe it wasn't. Yeah.
That's actually a donut. No, it's not. That's 2 points.
Oh, thank you.
I'm afraid this is off of Wetland.
Oh, maybe that's where I recognise it from.
This is the second track off of Wetland. So it is the GOAT the undisputed greatest ambient artist of all time, Hiroshi Yoshimura. It's kind of like how I feel about Monty Python's Flying Circus. Don't ever try and be funny again, because you will lose. You will never be funnier than that show. Don't try and make ambient music. You will lose. It will never be Wetland or most of the other things. In fact, all of the things that Yoshimura has made. It's getting a bit bootlicky now. But
circle jerky, yeah.
But no, I'm allowed to be. I love the guy. I'm allowed to be. I can't read Japanese characters, but the translation appears to be Singing Stream, and this is the spring mix, apparently. Released in 1993, ambient/new age. When I have been listening to this, because one of the first ones on my outro list was I Know That Track off of Wetland, and there's this point where these synth chords, these descending synth chords come in, and that's how you know this one's starting to wrap up. But every time I've come to it, and see, I'm going to try and not do it here now, it gets me a bit emotional, man. Because things start to mean so much to you. And I have my own experiences with this album the first time I listened to it, but it wasn't really associated with anything. It was just a very quiet Sunday morning in central London. And that was quite special. It felt quite unique. There's nothing, crazy about it. It's just the more I've listened to this, just the more it becomes, especially this kind of music, it becomes a safe space.
Yeah,
it becomes
absolutely.
a haven. And whenever I have felt anxious or sad or angry, or even emotions that aren't even necessarily that bad, like I've just finished a gig and maybe I didn't enjoy it the most, or maybe I did, but it was so chaotic. And we split ways, and I'm off to the Elizabeth line or wherever I'm going. And if I can't think of anything to listen to, this will go on. Or if I've been in a show which has had, heavy metal music in Shoreditch, for example, and I need to go home and I can't think of anything and my ears are ringing a bit, this will be the thing that goes on.
That's nice.
And it feels, I don't know, it's something about the music inherently being so comforting. As I say, it becomes a safe space. It becomes a companion, But then also it's something about this man that I never got the chance to meet as well. And it's not just that, from the quotes I've seen from him, he seems like he was a bit timid, but he didn't really want the limelight or anything, but he seemed like he respected his craft and he trusted his own style of it, and he wanted to make the world seem better. I think the quote about Wetland is something like, I hope when you listen to this that your natural surroundings just seem a bit nicer or whatever.
Okay.
He just wanted to make you enjoy living. And there's part of it that I wish that he was still here, so I could have more of his music, but just even have the chance just to go up to him and go, I need you to know the impact you've had on my life, kind of thing.
Send those vibrations out to him wherever he is.
It's so grateful. I'm so grateful. I think I've done a good job of not getting any more emotional than I am about it, but because it now means so much to me, this album. And that is special. It doesn't have to be music. It can be a book. It can be a person, God. These things that, one day you sit there and you're listening to the music or that person speak, whatever, and you go, my God, you're going to be with me for the rest of my life. And that is an amazing thing. That is special, and don't let those things go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love you, Hiroshi Yoshimura. I will never stop talking about you, even if Chris proceeds to get 4 points on every single one from now on.
I mean, I've got 2 from this one. So
but the more I use it, the harder it's going to get for me. But that won't stop me. That will never stop me. 2 points. Well done.
Very nice. Thank you. Yeah. I feel that you have to lock in to keep your emotions back. I've had that the past few times I've listened to Surf's Up by the Beach Boys. You just have to
well written,
have to lock in so hard.
Well written.
Anyways,
when the outro of that hits, I heard the word Wonderful Things,
a children's song.
And you think, well, that's really, really lovely. A child, and you go, oh my God. It's that reviewer I showed you earlier, his take on that. When that comes on and he just goes, and he dies. It's wonderful. Your
song.
number 8. I said when we were listening to this that I'm going to have to deploy old school whiteboard game tactics. I haven't deployed them in a while. And the tactics I meant were, it's a rap song with more than one voice.
Mm-hmm.
So my default position is Brockhampton.
Okay.
The word suburbs was said, and I know they like to put things in capital letters. I have listened to their albums, but I only listened to each of them once. So, and that was a while ago. I put suburbs. 2014, I just said hip hop. I couldn't think of anything more precise. I'm sorry.
Fair enough, yeah. Yeah, I did myself a disservice by not cutting it to a point where you could only hear
Genuinely,
one
if you put it as one voice, if it was just that first voice, I would have been screwed.
I did think about that when I'm going through. I went, there's 2 voices in it. He's going to guess Brockhampton because of that.
And it's not Brockhampton.
No, it's worked.
Oh, okay.
It is. You've done very well. You got 3 points.
Thank you.
Very good. It's Brockhampton. The song is Sister/Nation. And the bit I gave you was the transition point between both.
Cool.
But the song outros as Nation, and it all stays the same. There's just a few different verses, basically. So this is technically the outro section.
Nice.
Don't want to hear it, viewers. This is an outro section. Experimental hip hop is what I put.
Yeah, nice.
Rate Your Music said that. I think this was one of their more experimental songs, and they're more of an experimental group within hip hop, I'd say. 2017 is when it came out, because off of Saturation 3, my favourite of their albums.
Remind the people where that sits in your 200 ranked albums. Number 2, second best album he's ever listened to. There you go.
Well, it's an interesting one because, see, when I rank things as tops to stuff, I don't think about it in terms of this is the best album I've ever listened to.
Yeah.
This is the second best album I've ever listened to. I just sort of... I weigh up the emotional weight it has, what it's done to affect my listening of albums. You know, it's almost like what you think the impact a person has had on you.
Absolutely.
And how you live your life. I feel like it's a bit like that. And I can undoubtedly say that, I think I've probably said this on the podcast before, but this album, Saturation 3, is without a doubt 100% the album that got me into listening to albums.
There you go.
Because
that's huge, man.
It was the first one which I got to like one song and I went, this is really good. And then I'm seeing, so they have more stuff. I really want to get into them more. And I'm listening to different songs on that album. I'm going, man, all these songs are great.
Yeah.
And suddenly you realise, you've listened to the whole album.
Yeah.
And you're like, are there more albums that I could listen to that are good? And you keep doing that. And then, 8 years down the line, you've got a podcast with a friend and you're chatting about albums,
You've reminded me of this really old post from some random account I saw a long time ago, and it was like a screenshot of a Reddit post, and it was someone saying, I've been really into music, really getting into music recently. Can you recommend any sort of, are there any albums? And that's exactly what you're saying. It's that moment when you realise, hang on, wait, it's not just the radio. Are you being serious?
Yeah, there's more stuff. I can have my own taste.
Exactly. I can choose what and when I listen to things. You kidding me?
So that's probably why it holds more of a space in my. I would probably say that this is my favourite of theirs if I look at it from a point of what I get out of the album, not just like its impact on me. I think it's the catchiest out of the 3 in their Saturation trilogy. And yes, as I say, Sister Nation is quite a wacky song. It starts very it's got like a Death Grip sort of edge to it. Quite interesting.
Yeah.
Some very aggressive verses as well. And then you have this transition section where it all filters out. There's just a bit of noise. And then you get like the Please Stand By audio where it's just like a and then they switch into just some super ambient and spacious, almost like cloud rap sort of beat. It's very impressive.
I love you, Lil B.
Yeah, it's those ones that just catch you off guard, and it's, as I say, very ambitious and bold to combine the two things, and I think that just adds to the art, really. I have a lot of respect for it. So, there you go.
There you go.
Good stuff for getting 3 points. I mean, once again, you've said that you're not sure about the second half for you, but you're proven to be doing pretty well.
These last 2 kids, don't you worry, these last 2. I've just done a little look for you on my personal rankings, because I have listened to them. My favourite out of the Brockhampton albums that I've done is their first Saturation one.
Interesting. Do you know, I think a lot of people say their second is their favourite.
Crazy.
So it's I think that just shows that all of them are
good.
Great.
All of them are good. Yeah.
On to your number 9.
Oh, we're getting close now, folks.
I do hope people get the reference when I do that as well.
Number
9. This is, now, I mean, you spoke about giving incredibly dodgy guesses. This is an incredibly dodgy guess.
Okay. I will say there is this one, there is no necessarily, it's not a cruel one. It is a name you will know.
Okay. See, it sounds a bit like the artist I've put, but I've mainly put them because I just, A, don't know who to put, and B, this reminds me heavily of a song of theirs.
Okay.
I've put The Cure.
Okay.
It felt like their sort of style of post-punk.
Yeah, I get that.
It reminded me a lot of their song A Letter to Elise, because there's the chords reminded me a bit of it, and there's a guitar riff that reminded me a little bit of some of the latter bits of the extract that I heard. So to make it a bit different, I guessed that this was called A Letter to Clarice. To mix it up a little bit, I put Baroque Rock. I can't remember why I put Baroque Rock, just because I think were there strings? Let me listen.
There absolutely are strings.
There were strings, yeah, I think that's why. Yeah. And then art rock as well, because again, there were strings. 1989, just, I don't know. It could be very recent, so I don't know. And I think that guess sums up my game really. Quite poor.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm going to give you a point.
Few.
I'm just going to look up the lyrics here because I want to be ready to talk about something to you.
They do say A Letter to Clarice in the song. I'll give you a half point for that. I don't think I've ever met a Clarice. I don't think it's a very English name specifically. Maybe it's more Celtic. I don't know.
Oh, it's beautifully written. So, this is a band I've used once before, and it is reflective of recent listening I've done. Okay. They're alliterative. They've got an animal in them.
Oh, no.
No.
Dr. Dog.
No.
No?
No, don't worry. You're fine. You're safe.
Okay,
it's a different animal, slightly smaller animal. Modest Mouse.
Oh, wow.
This is called Talking Poopy, Talking Crap.
You can say
that. Talking about a pretty sunset. Released in 1996. This is Midwest emo, indie rock, slacker rock. I've given you art rock because...
Thank you.
Say it one more time, Chris. What are there?
Strings.
There are strings. It has to be art rock. Nice. This is off their album. Brilliant title. You ready for this? This is a long drive for someone with nothing to think about. Yeah. Fantastic title.
Very good title.
And I think it's somewhat of a concept album. I think it is just... I've seen people say it is just someone sitting in a car.
It's slacker
just
rock,
thinking and talking about stuff on a long drive.
Cool.
This song is kind of in 2 parts. You get the first half, which is so poignant, and that's when he's singing. And the second half is when suddenly there's a slight key change or whatever it is, I'm not sure. And then it just bursts into this like Midwest riffing stuff going on, and you go, it is, for me, the Modest Mouse I've listened to, their best song.
Oh, cool.
And it is, for me, from what I've listened to, off the best Modest Mouse album.
I don't think that's awfully controversial.
I don't think it is. I think a lot of people is it like the Lonesome Crowded West?
Lonesome Crowded West.
A lot of people really respect that. But I think I mentioned it before when we last spoke about I Came as a Rat is a song I used. The Moon, Antarctica and Everything, I think.
Yeah.
Which is also a brilliant album. But they have these moments where they get almost punkier. And he stops singing and starts shouting. And I think that takes away from how skilled a lyricist and everything he is.
100%.
Because I'm not really, I can't focus as much as what he's saying because I just hear someone almost like spitting at me and it just makes me, I'm not against abrasive music. I know I said earlier about Your Arms Are My Cocoon and the more screamo stuff, but sometimes all I can hear is the shouting and it doesn't work for me. But when they're so capable as an outfit, especially in the earlier stuff, where, you know, they haven't found the commercial success yet or anything, so they're just doing it their own way. And it's so raw and beautiful. I think this song is about him as the lyrical voice when he's singing.
Isaac Brock, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Talking about maybe his own personal disappointment at life, or about feeling like he wishes he could... How do I word this? Well, the lyric is... The main lyric that I think is the gorgeous one. He says the title, talking about a pretty sunset, blanketing opinions that I'll probably regret soon. And then this is the line, which I think... It's one of them that I hear and I go... It's annoyed me that you've come up with that because now I can't. And he's gone, I've changed my mind so much I can't even trust it. My mind changed me so much I can't even trust myself. And it's just, my God.
Very poetic.
And this is it. When he starts shouting, I can't hear him say stuff like that. So I wish he wouldn't. But other people don't care. They're famous enough now, aren't they? So I'm not going to say much more because my plan is, and I'll say this to your face, I will use the first half of this song in another game. Ooh. And I will catch you out.
Wow. Okay.
Unless you listen to it without telling me, which you're perfectly entitled to do.
Well, I was going to say, I listened to my first Modest Mouse album the other day.
And it was...
good news for people who like bad news.
Yeah, also.
Which is...
Yeah. Again, a great title.
Yeah. I mean, I listened to it because my family and I have been watching Small Profits.
Okay.
The new series. And there's a bit in it, in like the last episode, where the main guy's wearing a Modest Mouse t-shirt. Yeah. And there's like a recurring side character who just doesn't say anything. And one day he shows up in a Modest Mouse t-shirt too, and they share an embrace.
That's cute.
And then they play Float On.
Float On.
Mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Their most popular one, I think.
I think probably. Yeah. They're commercial at this point as well. Yeah. They're radio friendly now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And that sort of beckoned me to go, you know what, I've wanted to get into them for a bit, so I'll listen to this. Who knows, maybe by the next time you use it, I'll have...
Well, you're completely entitled to do it. I'm just letting you know, even if you might have done, I'm still going to do it. Because it's a song of two halves, and they're both exceptional. Quite different, but lovely song. Early Modest Mouse, great stuff. I'll give you, what did I say, 1 point?
Yeah, thank you.
For the genre, no worries. So we get onto your final two, which I am in a bad way with, Chris. I think this one I did audibly say when I was listening to your number 9. I've got no idea who this is. I think I did just say that out loud. So I've gone into the deep, deep recesses of my Chris lore to draw forth names I haven't considered in a long time.
Okay.
I've gone for Ariel Pink. And I said International Feeling. He respects the answer, at least.
That's a good guess.
He respects it.
You know, I'd be incredibly surprised if Ariel Pink wasn't influenced by this
I'll
artist.
take that. Okay, so it's probably earlier than 1997, but that's fine. I said psych rock, and because of that big whoosh, I said space rock as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think this might predate space rock, maybe. I don't know.
Proto-space rock.
It's very spacey, the song, 100%. Yeah. This is made by... I mean, it feels very 90s, doesn't it? Which is a really interesting thing.
Yes.
It's a 70s song.
Crazy. That's so impressive. This is so impressive.
This is by what I can only describe as... The more that I've found out about him, an absolute nutcase of a musician. Okay. Not in terms of like they've done outrageous and nutty things, but just in terms of his mind and what he makes.
Yeah.
Mental. Like I'm listening to like ADHD
in music form.
Yeah. Super talented guy.
Okay.
Todd Rundgren.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll give you a point for International Feeling, and I'll give you a point for Psych Rock as well.
Generous.
2 points for you.
Thank you.
It's called International Feel, the track of the song. It's the first track off of... I think his two biggest albums are two albums that are like double albums, I want to say, because they've both got slashes in them. He's got a very poppy one called Something/Anything, which I haven't listened to yet. I really want to get to. And the other one, which I have listened to, which is this one, is A Wizard / A True Star. And I have listened to it. Prog pop, it goes through some phases. I can see why they've put prog pop. It's very forward thinking as music. I think that's where it mainly gets its progressive nature from, not from the use of different sections. Per se. I also put psych pop because I thought, how can you listen to this and not think it's psychedelic? It's mental. And then 1973. You're having a face.
It's got 19 tracks, this album. It's only just, but it's under an hour long. I see numbers like that and I go, what we playing at, Todd? what are we doing?
He's as I say, he's a mental music. If this guy doesn't have like ADHD, I'd be very surprised because he's
good at mimicking.
He's mental. And his talent as well. Like he's produced for a lot of musicians.
It's a huge name, Todd Rundgren.
Yeah, I think whilst he's not necessarily a big mainstream name per se, I feel like his influence within music generally is absolutely huge and maybe in a lot of ways understated. A lot of weird stuff nowadays, I feel like surely they all have had to listen to Todd Rundgren at some point. Yeah, very good. I'm not overly sure what the song's about. I haven't listened to it too much. It came up in like Spotify doing these weird. This is an interesting use of AI. They're like AI like prompts for like playlists. So I think one I got the other day was like, it was like dream pop for like a summer's day or something like that. Like interesting prompts, and they'll give you a bunch of interesting stuff on there. And International Feel was on there. So I thought, I've been meaning to get into Todd Rundgren for a while. I liked this song, listened to the whole thing. It's really interesting. And that's not a slight. That's me saying that I had enough interest in it to where I'm probably going to listen to this a good amount more because I was fascinated by it. I don't know if it was my headphones that I was using, but I found that actually his mixing of bass is very light. Okay. Because it was a lot less bassy than what I was expecting. But maybe that's just my headphones. I don't know. I think it's that, I've only listened to one album of his, and it's that acknowledgement of how influential and just, as I say, crazy a musician that he was, that I feel in your own heart sort of goes, man, I got to listen to so much more of this guy. He sounds so cool. So I'm going to do that. Because again, I'm listening to this and going 1973. That's crazy. Look, like it's such a nutty song.
To the point, and I've just checked. As you've spoken, done my research. I've seen it says 1973. I've seen it with my own eyes, but you're still telling me 1973, and I'm still doubting you. It doesn't seem right.
It doesn't feel like it at all.
No.
Very ahead of its time. Very impressive. And good job for getting 2 points.
Well, look, I got a big wide grin. I don't care about the points. I said Ariel Pink, and you were proud of me. So that's all I need.
Very good guess.
Thank you, Todd Rundgren. Wow. Just get these names that you know of, and just suddenly like you just fling them at me, and I go, "Oh my goodness, yeah, wow, yeah." Fair play.
Let's hope he shows up again. So,
the coolest Todd so far.
Absolutely.
I can't think of any other. Actually, can't think of any other Todds.
My neighbour's called Todd, and he's pretty cool.
Okay, respect to Chris's neighbour called Todd.
There is a rivalry in my brain. Moving on to your last extract. I want to say I recognise who it is. Okay. Maybe I've listened to this song, I don't know. If it is off of the album I think it is, I definitely have listened to the song. But again, it's a song where you're like, I've listened to this album once. I don't know if I'm going to recognise the song. There's certain aspects of the sound I associate with what I would imagine to happen at the end of this album. I think it was Mild High Club. I guessed How Long. I think he says How Long in it. I said psych pop / hypnagogic pop. It was a bit on the lo-fi side, so I thought hypnagogic pop sounds quite. It feels like quite a fair guess. I also put 2016 because I think that's the year that he put out Skip Tracing, and based on what I remember of Skip Tracing, I remember the feeling of fidelity just sort of losing as you go on, and because it felt like this track might have, I don't know, it might be the end track of the album. And I would associate that with being very lo-fi, and it felt quite lo-fi to me. So that's my guess.
I'm going to give you 1 point.
Oh, thank you.
I'm afraid this is another naughty one by me, but I'm going to justify it by saying this song is the reason I was desperate to do the outro.
This is the one, okay.
This is the one I needed to talk to you about.
I'm ready.
That being said, I may do most of that discussion not on the podcast. We'll get there, but we'll see. It's interesting, by the way, just as a shout out to Mild High Club. I can't remember where I saw the review, but it's one of my favourite bits of music journalism I've ever read, and it was just on some random forum when someone had basically asked, should I listen to this album, Skip Tracing? And someone just wrote quite an eloquent response. It was wonderful. And they said one of the main appeals of it is the way it degrades like across the album. It starts off and there's a bit of fuzz on it, but by the time you end, you don't really know where you are anymore. And I read, and they put it much more eloquently like that than that, but I read that and just went, that might be one of the most accurate reviews of anything I've ever read. I thought it was incredible. But anyway, this is by a band called Mermaid in China.
Interesting.
It's a song called Wild and Pretty Games. It's a title track off that album. It's released in 2021. I had psych pop, hypnagogic pop, and electropop. And snap, crackle, and pop. I actually can't even remember where I found this band because they are in a way, I can't imagine they're far off from us. They're just a very independent outfit.
Okay.
I don't remember where I found them. It wasn't a YouTube recommendation, and it's sort of the mystery that my list builds over time. That I'm working down it and I just see a name. I see Mermaid in China and I think I can't remember where I wrote that from.
Yeah.
I'm willing to be surprised. Let's see what happens. Wild and Pretty Games is the album I've listened to. What a joy.
Okay.
What a joy. It's really well crafted electronic pop, basically.
Okay.
But then this song, man. And again, I'm going to try not to get emotional about this. In fact, I will talk to you about it afterwards. Sorry, podcast listeners. But I'm going to read you the lyrics here, Chris.
Okay.
So one of the main refrains is back and forth. It's your male lead singer. I don't know if they have names anywhere. Not that I can see on this Bandcamp page.
Ryan Every and Adam Corky.
One of them.
Was originally formed by them. It looks like they've got three now.
I think they're a three-piece now, yeah.
Sorry, mystery member. Christopher stands. Fellow Christopher.
I've never met a Christopher I didn't like, I'll tell you that. Yeah. But so it's whoever the lead singer is, back and forth with the female voice going, you can't find me. And then she goes, you can't find me. And then he goes, I can't find you. And then she goes, I can't find you. They go back and forth and back and forth. And then this is your main lyrical body. Positively fine when you're around me, forcibly entwined when you will have thee, mask the words that come to you, relinquish them in fumes. I know you don't feel it too. Let that hang. Think about what he's saying. And then, because it's quite a fast-paced song, you've got a lot of cool synth stuff going on, and then everything drops away and you get this outro. And I mean, that is an effect in of itself of a lot going on drops away. It's already emotional. You know there's something that they want you to hear, right? And so it slows down, and then in a much slower tone he goes, mask the words that come to you, relinquish them in fumes. So for me, that's him talking to this other female voice. And he's saying, there is something you want to say, mask them, as if smoke, let them go. So I can barely even see them. And then he goes, I know you don't feel it too. There's a feeling there, I know you don't feel it. Two suggests I either am with you that I don't feel it, or I feel it and I know you feel the opposite. And then it's this wordplay right at the end. How long must I wander with an O? How long must I think about this thing?
Yeah.
How long must I wander, walk about without knowing where I am? And then just the last time he says it, and then you get that sort of arpeggio on the piano come in, and see, I'm fighting it, Chris, man. He goes, I know you don't feel it too. But he says it so slowly. And it's almost like it's like if there's a fight, you're like, imagine you're having a debate with someone and you really want to win and you know they're not going to change their mind and you just kind of shrug your shoulders and you go, I know you don't feel it. He's almost not singing at that point.
Right, okay.
He puts his hand up and he goes, I've given up.
Yeah.
And then the piano comes in and you just go, oh my God. This song means a lot to me now.
Okay.
It means so much to me. And it's actually the song, and I've kept it, I said I've been on this for months, this song. I've been waiting to use it on you. Because I wanted this outro game to speak about this bit in particular. But it's also the song that's made me want to, and keep an eye out on our social medias for this, to start doing Music of the Week and Chris's Tunes about smaller acts. Because I think we have a real we have a platform that's growing, and I'd love to meet more people and talk to more people 100%. With it. And these guys aren't huge. I think the lovely thing is when you go on YouTube and you listen to this album, the songs that have lyric videos or whatever, or comments turned on, this album is, it's a few years old now. It's still quite, I think anything released this century is still new by my standards, but for some people they call this old music now, I suppose. But they reply to all the comments that get left.
That's really nice.
And it's people going like, it's them going, where are you listening to this song? And someone says, I'm from Australia, and they're going there, wow, that's crazy. That must be so amazing. We've never been to Australia or whatever. And they're just normal.
Really nice.
And so from that perspective, I remember looking at that and thinking, these guys have no idea how much I love this piece of music. I will find a way to talk to them. Because, I just spoke about Hiroshi Yoshimura. I'm never going to get the opportunity unless, God willing, there is some space at the end where we all meet up and go, oh, you're that guy. You're Mozart. No way.
I recognise you from the paintings.
Yeah, which would be amazing, right?
You look exactly like them. The painting must have been so good.
But these guys are still about. Of course they are. They're young lads. And if I do a Music of the Week on them, who's to say that if I reach out to them and go, I want to talk about your song, is there anything you want to say, that they can't come back to me and go, that's so lovely of you. We'd love to get to know you.
Yeah.
Who's to say?
Let's manifest it now.
I'd love to manifest
Manifesting it.
I just want to meet people. I want to meet cool people. And these guys have written a song that means so much to me. And I want them to know that. So now I've told you that, not only can I have a proper discussion with you about this afterwards, but I can finally try and do my Music of the Week. I can finally try and talk to them.
Yeah.
Look, Mermaid in China, you guys, if there's anything other than the Yoshimura I can recommend listeners of this podcast to today, it's this song, not just because it means a lot to me, but because it's like when people say support your local businesses. Support independent music, guys. Give it a chance. You never know what you'll find. This song is as good as anything else we've spoken about today. I think it's superb. Mermaid in China, love you. That's 1 point for you, Chris.
Thank you, yeah.
You're welcome.
I was going to say, they've got 22 monthly listeners on Spotify. They've got thousands of songs on their stuff, but I think it's just because it doesn't seem like they've put something out for a bit.
They haven't, no.
Put something out, guys. Build up those monthly listeners again, because we've got 32, and I'm like, we don't have 1,000 plays on any of our songs, and they've got thousands of plays on all their songs.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what's going on, guys?
Yeah. You hope something didn't happen, kind of thing. But, the album generally is really listenable. So really, they got a track called "Where Are You, Paradise." That's almost a calypso song out of nowhere, like calypso synth. You're going, have you just invented a genre? It's crazy. And then you've got some instrumental synth tracks on there. It's a lovely album. It's really listenable. That's the word. Really listenable.
I saw an interview that Pink Pantheress did recently. Yeah. To do with like artists that are really good that just don't get the listeners. And she seemed really empathetical is definitely not a word, but
just empathetic.
Empathetic about that. 'Cause she was saying, there's a lot of artists that I really like, and I'm just like, you should be so much more popular. You're so much better than all this other stuff that I've heard, and it does get popular, but it's all just marketing and branding now. That's a lot of people just don't want to do that. And I can't blame them for that. That's the main joy is in the music, really.
Of course.
It doesn't.
Is that rain?
I think it might be.
It sounded quite violent, didn't it?
Strong wind, perhaps. A loud fart. I think it's quite strong wind.
Maybe all of the above. You say that, but I can only just about see that tree moving. So
it might be quite violent rain. Well, I'm leaving here soon, so that's great.
I mean, I'm off somewhere as well. We'll
okay.
No, there you go. There's rain on the window. I think that's what that is. Hopefully, it's just a burst.
Lovely and sunny earlier. What happened?
I think, from what I know about Pink Pantheress, she seems pretty chill. I think she gets it. I think she's
fairly down to earth. Yeah. Mad respect.
I mean, she's always glad to meet you as well.
Yeah. Collab.
So. you know that picture of someone trying to sort of shoot for 3 from the moon, and you just see the Earth in the distance, and people put it on post when people are sort of trying to pick up girls that they're saying, they're some random guy trying to pick up some streamer or something, like chat someone up, or it's like a really dry pickup line or whatever, and then you go to the comments and there's all these pictures of basketball players trying to make shots from miles away. That was our version, but still collab, please. Yeah. We'd be really glad to meet you.
I can make sick garage beats.
You were recommended to us by numerous people, so it wouldn't be illegal. Anyway.
Good reference.
Thank you. I hope she appreciates it. So this is our last one. This is our last hurdle.
Woo.
Let's see what Chris has to say for himself. You didn't hear this. I mean, he's about to tell you what it is. I can't explain it. He will. I just tried to figure out who was one of the funnier people that Chris likes to listen to. I went for Gene Ween on his ones. Because he's a silly guy. And not only is he a silly guy, he's very good at, whether it's him doing it himself or through electronics, altering his voice. I put Magical Transistors. That was said at one point. That feels like a title. I said 2018. I said it's spoken word / a skit.
Okay. Yes. I'll give you... do
it for the love of the game, Chris.
I'll give you 1.5 points.
Oh, okay.
Genre.
Thank you.
And half a point for the title.
Oh,
quite close to the title.
Okay, thank you.
Now, this is by... I don't know how much you would associate this musician with being funny.
Oh, God.
I would.
Okay.
Quite a bit. I think that's more from a lot of what I've sort of read and learned. This is 100% someone you know.
Well?
Yeah.
How well?
Well, I won't go any further than that. They are a very funny musician, and it's more so in the interviews that I've watched of them that I understand that. I don't think they show it in their music as much because they take the music more seriously.
Okay, so it's not Mac DeMarco. He doesn't take his music seriously.
It is the Beach Boys. The song is Magic Transistor Radio. It's a spoken word / fairy tale. Came out in 1973 because it's off of their album Holland, which I don't think you've listened to. Written by Brian Wilson. It's not like who's given their manager a song to write, what's going on. It's not anything like that. Would you not associate Brian Wilson with being a funny guy? Because there's so much stuff that I've read about him and learned about him that I'm like, no, this guy was he was very
kooky,
funny.
Is the word I use. He was kooky.
This guy was a funny man.
Yeah. My God.
Yeah, and that's to me that's the best kind of musician that's able to know when to take themselves seriously and is not so it's down to earth about their stuff as well. I feel like he always was. This is. I'm going to try not to spend too long talking about this. So Holland as an album is when it was initially released, it was just a 36-minute, that sort of period of their time, not awfully dissimilar to Sunflower. Surf's Up, maybe. Pretty decent songs, not as good as Sunflower or Surf's Up, I'd say. But in more recent years, it's been lumbered, depending on what people's opinions of it are, with an EP that was released a little bit after, I think, called Mount Vernon and Fairway.
Yeah, that rings a bell. I think. Yeah.
And the EP is meant to be like a spoken word, almost sort of like audiobook of a tale. And I'm going to get it up quickly now because I did look it up before.
Careful, guys, he's getting it up. He's doing it quickly.
I did look it up before I left, but I couldn't remember the storyline of it, and I wanted to say that. So, Mount Vernon and Fairway, this is a Wikipedia description of this, tells the story of a Pied Piper who lives inside a glowing transistor radio owned by a family of royalty. He introduces magical music to the young princes and princesses, but disappears forever once they stop believing in his existence. Now, if Surf's Up has taught me anything, it's that when Brian maybe turned our age, maybe a bit older, he got so... do you know, it was probably our age, because he was writing about this stuff since Smile.
Yeah.
He was so incredibly fascinated, but fascinated is probably the wrong word, probably depressed.
Well,
is more likely the right word, about adulthood, responsibilities, and losing the childlike sense of creativity and that sort of thing. And so this, I suppose the EP at the end of Holland, Mount Vernon and Fairway, to me is reflective of his feelings of people growing up, and you lose the special... the specialness of creative things like music, you know, what art should really mean to people. And I think it's because of this that there's some quite kooky part. I mean, I feel like when he wrote really, I guess maybe not short form things. This is short form in that it's an EP. There's a few tracks. They're all gonna, it's a 12-minute EP. All the tracks are gonna be like 1-2 minutes long. And most of it is their manager just narrating the story, essentially. And then there's other bits, like this song, where I think it's Carl Wilson saying it. Yeah. Putting on a very odd voice, with very odd effects on his voice. And he's meant to be speaking as if he's the Pied Piper.
Yeah.
Again, in a very whimsy sort of way. Because Brian is trying to portray the whimsiness of that. I think from what I've gathered, a lot of people don't really like the EP. I think having it at the end of Holland is not, from what the marketing team of the Beach Boys have done, where they've associated it more with Holland in more recent years, maybe has done it a bit of a disservice, because people are listening to Holland going, oh, this is really good. I really like Sail on Sailor, California Saga, all these different songs. But the end of it, man, what the hell's going on there? So I can understand that. I think as like a solo piece of art, again, it speaks to this man's ambition.
Absolutely what I was going to say.
This guy was so keen to just do whatever. He always strikes me as a man who was so inspired by so many different things. When I listened to one of their later albums called Love You, there's a song on that called Ding Dang, and that reminds me a lot of this, because it's very sort of whimsical and wacky, but the song itself is built off of a song called Shortening Bread, which I don't know if you know how infatuated he got with that song for a very, very, very long time, and no one really understood why, I think, which is very amusing. But yeah, I think generally from the EP, I get quite a lot of sort of sun-setting vibes. It's quite the Beach Boys generally I feel quite summery and quite warm. And yeah, I've done most of my Beach Boys listening now. I'm quite would say I'm pilled. I'm very much am incredibly inspired by them. And yeah, I was elated to see your joy when I said that this was the Beach Boys.
No, but it's as you say. Why should I be surprised that the man who was able to craft Surf's Up or Heroes and Villains or whatever can also do this? Why shouldn't he? And again, I said it right. We've almost bookended it as well. I said right at the start, the most childlike music I've ever heard in a beautiful way are the Smile Sessions and Children's Corner. Smile Sessions being by the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
And here we are talking about Brian Wilson chasing the whimsy of childhood.
Absolutely,
again,
yeah.
Which 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, he gets spot on.
Absolutely.
I think. So,
it's amazing that someone like him can be so revered as a songwriter and yet still be underrated as a songwriter, I feel.
It's remarkable, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. Really one of a kind. Thank you, Brian.
We love you, Brian.
There we go.
Here we go.
That is all of our extracts done.
We hope you found something interesting.
Coming down from the joy that was that game was. Thank you for sharing it with us. We'll now tally our scores and tell you what we got. Let's see who wins.
I'm going to fill for Chris's maths here. I've already done my numbers. He is quite capable with numbers. It won't take him long. But yeah, we really hope you found something interesting in here. These intros are great, but the whole pieces that they're from are quite good too. So we recommend you listen to. In fact,
check out the whole songs.
Check out the whole songs. If they're not classical, check out the whole albums. If they are classical, check out the suites or the ballets they're from. Why not?
Absolutely.
I think the Whiteboard Gamer isn't. It's really cool if you're listening to something like this and you go, "They're talking about my favorite band. That's crazy." Try something you've never heard of as well. Give it a go. Tell us what you think. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Cool. 3, 2, 1, score! Oh.
Nice.
Sorry.
I wasn't expecting to win this game. I didn't think it was. I didn't have a great game, if we're being honest. What did you get?
I got 19.5, 19.5.
I got 15.
50. I mean, look, I think they're still good scores for what the game is. The nature of the outro stuff is you were going to get parts of the song where titles weren't mentioned or voices weren't heard or things like this.
In games where we don't have bonus points as well, you can expect not to get as high.
I think if you're getting on a normal game out of 40, like above 10, you should be happy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because donuts are never far away.
And these aren't extracts we're using to be guessable as well. We're just guessing them for the fun of it. And again, to use a Beach Boys extract that Fred hasn't heard and see his absolute elation when I type in the answer,
And then to have Chris fulfill the hat trick in the first half as well. Sorry.
No, this was a game of great emotion.
I think this was a banger, to be honest. I really enjoyed this one. But who am I to say? Let us know your thoughts too.
Please do, yeah. Please just type something in the comments, guys. Please, just
we'll
reply.
Get some Tell us you're from Australia. I'll be impressed, even though you've lived there your whole life and it's not impressive to you. I'll be impressed.
Tell us. We'd love to hear from you. And if you want us to speak about any music, please do. I mean, it wouldn't work as a guessing game maybe because we both see it.
You know what? I don't care who you are. If you like music and you want to be on the podcast, tell us. Yeah. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point is to be about finding new music and stuff. So you telling us about music is us finding out about music as well. So
absolutely.
Tell us. I've been Chris.
He has. I've been Freddie.
We're going to wrap up this recording now. We hope you've enjoyed. We hope you've... I don't have anything more to say. So, I think that means... Whiteboard game.